Welcome back to Shootin' It Straight with your old pal, Rudy. Yes, once again, we are here with one of the true legends in professional wrestling. And when I say this, I don't take it lightly when I say a legend. Here's a guy who has been around the world many a times, who has wrestled in some of the major promotions in the United States and once again, globally. And he happens to be right here at International Big Time Wrestling. It gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce to you Kongo Kong. Kongo, how you doing, brother?
Blessed and highly flavored.
Yes, man, yes. So Kongo, man, you and I, we go back a long ways. I mean, tell me, how long have you been wrestling?
Well, last October, I celebrated my 22nd year in wrestling.
22nd?
Yes, sir.
Wow, wow.
Hell of a journey.
Yeah.
Looking for at least 10 more.
How did you get involved in this wacky world of wrestling?
Well, since I was a kid, I wanted to be a wrestler. And then I just happened to, I played for Saginaw Valley State University. And then I came home for a summer and I saw a poster for a local company called Championship Wrestling of Michigan. You're probably familiar with Scott Easy.
Sure.
Yeah, and they said down at the bottom, if you want to become a pro wrestler, call this number. And so at that point, it was go back to hellhole college football that I did not enjoy being around or pursue my dream. And so I chose my dream.
So who was the trainer? Your trainer?
Started off with Scotty Z. That lasted about a week. Him and the guy who owned the place had a falling out. And so then he hired in a guy by the name of Joe Ortega, went by El Tejano. And he's actually trained quite a few guys around the Michigan scene, myself included, obviously, and in Holland, Michigan. And so I finished up with him and yeah, kind of moved on from there.
So do you remember your first match, who it was against and where it was at? And
first match?
I'm sure it was great. Yeah. Ain't they all, the first ones?
My first one, I was about a week in and I knew how to do a lockup and a headlock.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, I was fresh out of college football, and the guy's name was JT Freeze, if that brings back any memories, because that was ages ago. And he wanted me to hit a spear. So me not knowing anything about wrestling and being fresh out of college football, in my mind, a spear was a form tackle.
Sure.
And so I lit his up. And I wasn't supposed to win the match. So I didn't know what to do. I was kind of freaking out after I hit him because he was legit couldn't breathe, and I'm like looking around, about freaking out, losing my. But you know, hey, we survived and recovered. And,
right.
You know, you have a bunch of rookies out there working together.
Sure.
You know, the stuff is going to look all kinds of kooky. Like whenever I come across it, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But I didn't know any better. You know.
And this is when you were wrestling under the name Osiris.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How long did you have that persona?
I would say I still have it actually. I'm doing a show next weekend.
No way!
Osiris, yeah.
Oh wow!
Bringing it back. For the last couple of years, he's been retired, I guess. So really, like I would switch back and forth. You know, when I didn't have a weekend where Kong was booked, because Kong I could charge X amount of dollars for. You know,
sure.
I would still make sure I get work in as Osiris and still make okay. You know,
sure.
And being in the middle of a pandemic, guys are like, hey, here's the problem. We don't have any fans, so our budget. And I was like, yeah, I'm not painting my face. So I tell you what, I'll just be Osiris.
Right.
Still not taking any bumps either, so.
You take bumps?
Yeah, on occasion, on occasion.
Okay, fast forwarding to your time in Impact Wrestling. It's no secret that you were one of the top stars there. Let me ask you, what transpired there? Why isn't Kongo Kong still kicking ass in TNA?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Not really, but
we're just shooting it straight. That's
yeah,
all we're
no,
doing.
honestly, I think it was just a matter of the leadership changing, and then the new leadership really just not knowing how to push a monster.
Yeah.
You can build me up, feed me to your top guy, do whatever with the top guy, but then you have to build me back up.
Absolutely.
You can't just feed me to guy after guy after guy without getting any more steam
Absolutely.
behind me,
Yeah.
And so,
Well, that's what they did for years with Abyss.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And even though, my Monsters Ball match with Abyss still has one of the highest viewed view counts, I should say, on YouTube.
Sure.
It still didn't mean anything, and it wasn't enough for them to continue and do anything out of it. So
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's like a new toy of the week type thing. And so they bring these guys in and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and this and this. And then they don't do anything with it. And then it's like on to the next guy. And they never really give anybody a chance to develop and become that top star. Part of that problem is ex-Fed guys, ex-WWE guys. They'll bring them in and, they're automatically sitting up here, and then none of the homegrown talent can ever touch them.
Right.
And I think that's bad. That's horrible for business.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason that a mid-carder should be on top of your show all the time.
Right.
If you're bringing this guy in, he should be getting your guys over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I feel like, just I guess maybe my style wasn't the same. And I've asked, hey, what can I do different? What do you want me to do? You want me to juice up? You want me to come up with storylines for you? Here's 10 storylines for you. Do you want me to change my style? Do you want me to do that fast-paced slap your thighs or what would you like me to do in order to stay here? But they kept telling me, well, we really can't think of anything for you. And I'm thinking 6'6", 350-pound monster. I feel like the story probably writes itself. You just are choosing to not do anything with me. And I mean, if so, that's the case, but be honest with me.
Right.
And I felt like I never got a straightforward answer.
Right.
So
that's not fair.
Yeah. It kind of
for a guy who's given a lot to a company.
Yeah.
I mean, you gave your heart and soul to the company.
Yeah, and I feel like, had they done that, then I'd have been perfectly cool with whatever they told me and been able to be on my way.
Right.
But because they, so to speak, jerked me around, you know what I mean? It's left a sour taste in my mouth, and I don't feel like, if they ever did call me back, like it wouldn't be an automatic, yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have a list of demands. All right, you got to do this, and you got to do this, and this needs to be in my contract, and I need this much money, and you know what I mean? It's I don't know. I feel like I've given them, like you said, I've given them, what I had to offer. What they decided to do with it was on them.
Right.
And whether or not they dropped the ball, if I was a flash in the pan, okay, cool. Let me know I'm a flash in the pan.
Right.
And I can move on. But
Exactly. Let's talk about happier times. Let's talk about JCW.
hell yeah.
Tell us about your first experiences at JCW. What was that like? Let's talk about your first gathering. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember I wrestled Rhino, and I remember Kevin Gill being in the back, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I want you up. I want you to take a gore and then kick out of the gore, and then I want you to take another one later on in the match and kick out of it too, and then you're gonna choke slam him and finish him." And I said, "Did you tell him that? Because I'm not telling him that." I was like, "Have you seen Rhino?
Right.
Like his legs are as big as my waist, bro. Come on."
Right.
No.
Right.
And so, Rhino being Rhino, the professional that he is, he made it work in a way that it made sense, and still was able to get the point across, what we were trying to get across. And, aside from, seeing the naked fat chicks and, discovering what the drug bridge was, and Not for myself. I stumbled upon the drug bridge, and I was like, whoa, all right. When they said drug bridge, they meant drug bridge. Like,
yeah, right.
You have an array of stuff. And then, hearing that somebody drowned that year. And, what was it? What's the lake? The name of the lake?
Lake Hepatitis.
See? Yeah, people swimming in that. No, I'm
Right.
good, bro. I'm good. No, it was a different kind of experience outside of wrestling. The wrestling was fun.
Right. The Juggalos loved you.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
really did.
yeah. I mean, well, they pelted me with stuff.
Well,
the first couple years,
that's how they show their love. They still support you even now on
yes,
the independent circuit.
even now,
you know?
yeah. I got a message the other day after appearing on Juggalo Night Court, from a guy, and he's like, "Man, I enjoyed your stuff on there. It's awesome following you through the years and blah blah blah." And I'm like, I remember when you motherfuckers used to throw me. But no, I'm absolutely grateful to the clowns, because without them, Kongo Kong never would have happened.
Right.
And it took a little while for me to get used to and get over, because I never wanted to be what you would consider a stereotypical black character.
Right.
Even though that might not have been their goal in the end, it's still something I always wanted to shy away from.
Sure.
And then I also didn't want to be a big dumb savage, just like being in the ring, having the honor to be in the ring with a guy like Kamala, and hear like the things that he would do, or see the things he would do, and how he would call matches, and his mannerisms and stuff like that. Kind of, it worked for him,
right?
But for me, I didn't want to be a big dumb savage,
right?
I looked at guys like Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was a savage.
Yeah.
But he could talk. I like the aspect of not talking, because then there's no chance for me to put my foot in my mouth.
Well, there you go.
But
so here we are.
Right. So there we go. And being the Warrior, he was intelligent. He spoke intelligently. So if he was intelligent, then why couldn't I wrestle intelligent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we could wrestle lions and tigers and bears in the jungle. Or are there bears in the jungle? I don't know.
There could be.
There could be, right?
Wow.
I'm sure there's big hairy dudes in the jungle, so they could be considered bears, whatever.
Sure.
I didn't want to do it, but I eventually,
you mellowed up.
I got into it, and I was like,
you owned it.
If I was going to do it, I'm going to make it mine. I'm going to make the best out of this situation that I can.
Mm-hmm. And Kongo really took you around the world.
It did. My first ever airplane ride was with the clowns. But it was to BFE, New Mexico, where you smelled the meth in the air, and there's 10-year-olds in the crowd flipping me off, and cussing me out, and hey, it was whatever. Right. I got pelted with all kinds of drinks and Faygo and all kinds of stuff, but it was a blast, and I was glad I was able to do it.
Sure, absolutely. So, your time at International Big Time Wrestling. Let's talk about that. You're here now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being with Kadeem Mohammed and the Nation? And once again, it's not a knock on the Nation of Islam at all. And I really want to let people know that we love and we respect the Nation, So when some people take it as, we're trying to disrespect, I don't think we are. And obviously you're working the angle, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that you find it offensive.
Right. I look at it as, you look at the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington in it, and how many of those people are actually Muslim?
Sure.
You know what I mean? They're in there, they're portraying characters.
Right.
Now, there are certain things I will not do.
Sure.
I don't believe that we are at that point.
Right.
And I like, being with Kadeem.
Yeah.
I feel like
you guys really gel together, man.
He's a little brother to me.
Yeah.
And he does listen to me, and me having TV experience, I can tell him, all right, do this, and he'll listen and he'll do it.
Yes.
And it's cool. Like he might flip back a little bit, and I'll just put my giant hand on his shoulder. Calm down, kid.
Right.
All right. And hey, it's good, man. And that's what I love about wrestling, is that you have so many relationships and friendships that you develop through the years, that people begin to trust you, and you know they invest themselves into what you are telling them.
Sure.
Because you know
That's really the payoff.
Yeah,
is the relationship building.
Yeah, and they look at your experience, and I've always said, you know, if I take the knowledge that I've gathered from the guys that have come before me and I keep it, how's this business going to go on?
Absolutely.
You know, it's changed over the year. Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
changed. The guys ended up changed, a whole different breed of people. You know, we used to fight. They go to the keyboard, you know, hey, whatever.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
But, you know, I still feel like there is knowledge for me to pass on that they can use, that they need, you know, whether they choose to use it or not, that's not the point.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be judged at the end by God or Allah or whoever, whatever you call him,
Right.
by what they did or how they responded. It's going to be about what I did.
Absolutely.
And what I put forth in this world.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, we're at the point of the show right here where we do a little head check, if you will. It's basically a name association. The names that I give you, the first thing that comes to your mind, I would love to hear, because we're just shooting it straight, brother.
Yeah, man.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Jeff Jarrett.
Great guy. I have no issues with Jeff. Jeff put me on at Global Force, and there is, no heat, no ill will, anything. I wish nothing but the best for him. I wish he would start up Global Force again, to be honest with you.
DBA.
Great guy. Took a while for us to gel, but once we did, we are family.
Yes, yes. MM3.
Little punk ass kid. I love him to death. I'm looking at him though. So you know,
Abyss.
I put up with him. Abyss, oh man, genuine guy. He's the reason I was able to get to Impact. He said I deserved a shot, and he was going to do whatever it took to make sure I had that shot.
Yes, yes. Rudy Hill.
Honest, straightforward, good dude. Always great to see.
Well, we've been shooting it straight with the one and only Kongo Kong. You'll be checking him out more right here on The Fix, as well as Shooting It Straight, and of course, on Amazon Prime. Once again, thank you, my friend.
Thanks, bro.
It's always a pleasure. Well, stay tuned.
Attention, all small businesses and entrepreneurs. Are you ready to take your company to the next level? Here is your chance to advertise your business or products under the lights of international big-time wrestling scene worldwide. For more information, call 313-675-3367. Let's take your company big time.
Tune in next week for more international big-time wrestling on The Fix.
If you've enjoyed this video from RoxTV.com, make sure you follow Rox TV on Facebook and YouTube. If it's underground, we're there.